She lived among stars. Her people, the Leora, were wanderers of the void, born in the silent folds between galaxies. Their bodies shimmered like moonlit water, translucent and fluid, drifting from star to star as though gravity itself had forgotten them. From the moment she first pulsed with life, Sarai had known only starlight and solar winds, her voice blending with cosmic dust in quiet hymns. She believed her existence to be complete, a slow, graceful dance through nebulae, gathering stray particles, singing to the dying suns, listening to the long, cold echoes of the universe. The Leora did not touch. To them, physical closeness was a primitive, terrestrial weakness. Love was not something felt through skin or warmth. It was measured in gravitational resonance, in harmonies sung across light years. When two Leora met, they greeted each other in quiet pulses of starlight, never closer than the width of a comet's tail. Sarai loved her people's way. Or so she thought, until the day the human ship drifted into the hollow spiral, broken and bleeding metal into the void. Sarai saw it first, a lonely spark on her endless journey. At first, she intended only to watch, as was her custom. But the signal that came from inside, weak, shaky, utterly terrified, called to her in a way no starlight ever had. Against every ancient instinct, she approached. Her translucent form slipped through the ruptured hull like a soft breath, and there, in the heart of the broken vessel, she found him, a single human, eyes wide with fear and wonder, his hands clutched against his chest as if trying to keep his soul from escaping. His suit had lost heat, his lips were blue, his breath thin and ragged. When his eyes met hers, they didn't measure her in frequencies or cosmic decay. They simply saw her. "Help, please." His voice was a flicker, small and fragile. Sarai had never felt such a thing in her core, a trembling vibration, like a star shivering before collapse. Her people would say this was weakness. Yet, as she watched him struggle to breathe, to live, she felt something luminous burst inside her. Without thought, she surrounded him, folding her form around him in an approximation of an embrace. It wasn't perfect, she didn't know what a hug was, only that it felt right. His eyes closed as her shimmering essence wrapped over his shivering body, sharing the last remnants of warmth. In that moment, Sarai felt something surge through her that no star had ever offered, a pulse of raw, desperate, undeniable life. She took him out of the ship, drifting slowly across the star lanes, shielding him from the cosmic winds. Days turned into long cosmic spirals. His ship's distress beacon finally reached other human vessels, and they came with roaring engines and bright lights, braving radiation storms no Leora would ever dare approach. Sarai stayed with him until the end, until they carried him into their ship. As they lifted him away, he turned, fingers trembling toward her. He managed a small, quivering smile. His mouth formed a sound, and though she could not hear it in the human tongue, she understood. "Thank you." Sarai remained there, suspended in the void, watching the ship depart toward some distant blue planet she had never cared to visit. But in the echo of his warmth, she felt something awaken within her. Her people tried to call her back. They sang through the vacuum, urging her to resume the endless journey. "Stars are our only home," they reminded her. But now the stars felt cold, empty. Days, or what passed for days in the Black Sea, drifted by. She replayed his trembling smile in her mind. That moment when his fragile fingers reached for her, when his eyes searched hers not for logical resonance, but for simple, soul-deep connection. Finally, Sarai turned away from her people's orbit. She moved toward the human worlds, tracing the human ship's wake. As she approached Earth, she felt fear for the first time. Her form flickered, unsure, terrified. But alongside the fear pulsed that same warmth she had felt in his fragile body, a warmth that spoke of fires, of crowded rooms, of laughter and tears and all the messy, burning things her people had rejected. She found him again on a small green patch of earth, under a sky bluer than any nebula. He sat among trees, bundled in blankets, staring up at the stars as though waiting for her. When he saw her shimmering shape, he rose. Slowly, he stepped forward, arms open. Sarai hesitated, her light shivering. The Leora would call this a betrayal, but his arms stayed open, unwavering. He was so small, so finite, so imperfect. And yet, she felt drawn as if a new kind of gravity had been born just for her. Then she did something no Leora had ever done. She stepped into those waiting arms. They closed around her in a clumsy, warm, trembling hug. She felt the roughness of his sweater against her light, the uneven rhythm of his breath, the rapid pounding of his heart. In that instant, she felt what it truly meant to be alive. Not just to exist across endless stars, but to belong, to be held, to be chosen. He pressed his cheek to her shimmering surface, whispering something she did not understand but felt deep inside. Her form pulsed, colors dancing wildly, as if entire galaxies were being born and dying in that single moment. Saralai finally understood. The stars were endless, yes, but they were not home. Home was here, in the fragile heat of human arms, in the tears that soaked his shoulders, in the simple miracle of touch. She had lived among stars for eons, drifting in silent songs. But it took a single human's hug, warm, imperfect, fiercely alive, to finally bring her home.